Personal struggles revealed before I knew the answer to what is attraction marketing. Years ago, I didn't even know the law of attraction existed, let alone knowing what is attraction marketing. I never used to believe in a business that works for you while you're sleeping. Especially, me, a woman with no sales experience, who woke up every morning frustrated to see another day with barely enough time to cater to a demanding boss, all just to make enough to barely make ends meet. I used to believe it was some sort of pipe dream that somebody like me with an embarrassing history of bankruptcy could ever make a go of it. I just couldn't bring myself to believe in my own abilities after so many failures. That was before I was introduced to the law of attraction and learned about what is attraction marketing, which gave me a way to dig myself out of this misery. Let me explain how it all started. Calculating barely enough to survive on 2 paychecks was hard enough. But it wasn't long ago that I was filled with frustration, frantically calculating how to pay the most important bills, because I had just received word that my husband had lost his job. His income had been more than mine at the time, and I felt lightheaded and dizzy with thoughts that refused to leave my head about how to cover the bills. Have you ever received a blow to the gut like that? And, at the time, my daughter was still living at home, so now I had to come up with a way to support a family of 3, and sending my daughter to college? Well, that was too gut-wrenching to even think about. Little did I know that the little girl I was struggling to support would grow up to teach me about the law of attraction. And just what is attraction marketing? It began when I started recognizing these feelings. I had been so furious with the situation about my husband losing his job for the second time in our marriage that I was now determined not to ever again have to depend on his income to pay our bills. I didn't know how I was going to do it. I just knew I'd find a way. Funny, how when you're really determined about something with true passion behind it and you know exactly what you want and focus on it, the universe finds a way to deliver. So, fast forward 3 years, and, of course, I'm still living paycheck to paycheck even though my daughter is grown and out of the house. I began doing extra work by cleaning houses after hours, but trading time for money left me still with more month at the end of the money, because there just weren't enough hours in the day. And, of course, the older I got the more my back ached at the end of the day. As I found out later, those initial feelings of anger were no friend to me and my situation. Fast forward another 3 years, by a curious twist of fate, I was introduced to a book by Wayne Dyer. As I became more and more engrossed in his writings, I began to read other books with the same phenomenon. And I often think about my favorite quotation from his books: "You get what you think about, whether you want it or not." And my life continues to prove that paradox over and over. I had lived in constant fear about how to pay the bills, and that fear proved to manifest a tragedy in my life with far less income, and by yet another strange twist of fate, my daughter, who is now grown by this time, introduced me to Rhonda Byrne's The Secret. I often think about the strange synchronicity of that day when I was reading Wayne's book and telling her the quote, "We get what we think about, whether we want it or not," while she, at the same time, happened to be listening to Rhonda Byrne's audio recording. If you're not familiar with Rhonda Byrne's The Secret, that's the sum and substance: we get what we think about, whether we want it or not. Once I realized, then, that the law of attraction had been working against me, I began consciously changing my thoughts to those of happiness, wealth, and gratitude. And, even though my husband never regained a full-time job and is disabled today and not working at all, my income is more than enough to provide for both of us. I enjoy being the provider for good times in our life, like our day with the Dolphins on his 50th birthday. I now look back on my life, it all makes perfect sense. When things were in a spiral downturn, they got worse. But when I was able to change my focus to what I was so happy and grateful for, things got better. This knowledge and the story of how the law of attraction worked in my life had inspired me to share my miraculous story with others. But just what is attraction marketing, and what does the law of attraction have to do with marketing? In order to explain this, I'll need to backtrack just a little to my first experience with marketing back in the days of frantically looking for ways to earn extra income, since working 2 jobs still was leaving me barely existing while working paycheck to paycheck. My daughter and I decided to join this nutritional MLM deal together. My daughter had always been good at sales, So I figured I'd just do what she did, and her vision was to take our business online. Oh, but wait. What about those recruits? How in the heck could we do that when the company was demanding that new members go to meetings in our area and there were territory restrictions? It seemed like the company was working against building success for their distributors. She jumped from one MLM deal to another. And I was just about to resort to just working the old job for the rest of my life until I died. Until I discovered how to turn my life around by learning just what is attraction marketing. So, what is attraction marketing? It's marketing in a way where people are chasing you to buy, you're not chasing them. When you join our team, you'll begin learning strategies to transform yourself from the hunter to the hunted. Be blessed with the law of attraction in your life.